Hi there, guys. So, um, it's been a few days since the election. Uh, Honestly and truly, I actually tried to make a couple videos, but they just, um, I still wasn't really mentally there to talk about what I wanted to talk about the way I wanted to talk about it. So, um, I was sitting doing my meditation, doing my reading and things like this, and probably like many of you, I've been kind of going back and forth looking at all kind of different news coverage, all kinds of different perspectives, you know, from both sides. And so some of that gave me some comfort. I don't want to go into what and how and all of that because I want to keep this video short and to the point that I've heard some things. Look like I had a my camera froze real quick. Hopefully you guys heard me. So what I was saying is that I've heard things from both sides. I've heard things that have helped me to feel a little bit better about things. But it wasn't until the other night, just alone with spirit, reading, and well, honestly, I wasn't even reading. I got this in my spirit first, and then I did the reading. Uh, so it was coming to me just a few days before, like, I'm just thinking in my head, "Ah, man, this is like the Antichrist. This is like the Antichrist." This is the and now, mind you, although many years ago now, I was a minister. I was a minister for a long time. I've said that on here. Um, and but that's been a while now. So, I mean, but when when you know your Bible, which I'm not bragging at all, but I was a bit of a Bible scholar. I took a lot of theological courses and things like that. So I was pretty well versed in my Bible. And so some things at some times, even though I don't just rigidly follow Christianity like that anymore, they will just pop up in my head. I won't be thinking about it, looking for it, sitting down, actively reading scriptures and things like that. I don't really do it anymore. Um, but that came to me. It had come to me a few days. And then, like I said, this particular night, it was just like, find those scriptures on the Antichrist and just read it. You know what I'm saying? Now we know about the Antichrist. It's various chapters in different places and things like that. But as I was reading all those, the one that really stuck out to me is what I want to read, and I want to stop at these particular scriptures and kind of reiterate uh how it was given to me. I mean, it really, some of this stuff really convinced me. I'm not saying that it's to convince you, but um I'm just saying hear me out. I'm not trying to convert nobody or anything like that. Um and I also would suggest you guys go and find, because there's many more scriptures about the Antichrist. There's actually even one aside from what I want to read that talks about what happens after um the Antichrist, and it talks about the Antichrist and the man of sin, who they are real close together. So, um, now I'm gonna say this also before I begin. Now we have Trump, we have Elon Musk, and we have Vladimir Putin. These three are connected very strongly. Um, I was making a joke. I'm telling you, it is so crazy. I was making a joke. Well, it wasn't really a joke. I mean, because honestly, I kind of think it is. It's no truth to it or whatever, but some would probably see it as a joke. But I was on this live on TikTok, and I was just listening to these people, and I wrote something, and it's so crazy how someone right above me, literally, we both said the same thing and, put it up on the screen. I'm like, oh my freaking God. How, because I'm thinking I'm the only one that thinks like this. So what it is that I've been saying that uh Trump is the Antichrist. Or well, despite that, I was saying Trump is the president, Elon Musk is the vice president, and Vladimir Putin. Where did I put that? I can't believe I'm messing this up. Vladimir Putin is actually the president of America. Elon Musk is the vice president, is what I was saying. And so, take that how you want it or whatever, but there's a lot of stuff that ain't going on. That's just not right with what's going on. But I'm gonna read these scriptures, and like I said, I'm gonna stop where I need to, and so that the video is not too long. So I want to start with I'm not going to be able to explain in detail all of this because first of all, we know the book of Revelation, we know the Bible period is a book of a lot of metaphors, a lot of what is that word I'm looking for? A lot of metaphors, a lot of, kind of like fables and things like that, that you kind of got to put them together. You know what I'm saying? Um, so a lot of this stuff is not, maybe you have or have not heard it, and it's not going to sound like what it actually is. You know what I'm saying? The book of Revelation is definitely a somewhat of a prophetic type book. You know what I'm saying? So this is Revelation 13, and I'm going to go ahead and start with I'm gonna go ahead and start with 1, verse 1, and I'm also reading the King James version of this. It might be a new King James because it's not the actual King James, and I'm also on my phone. But this might be like a new King James version or something. But 13:1, the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1 says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 horns and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the names of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto the leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority." Now, just really to sum that up, this is talking about governments and power and authority, and basically. Um, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. Now, I want to stop right there. Let's talk about Trump and MAGA just a little bit. Now, we know MAGA is obsessed. We know a lot of right wing radicals, a lot of right wing national, like these people are obsessed with Trump. These people will follow Trump to the end of the world. I mean, they're literally holding this man up as a god, you know. Um, they believe everything he says, he does. They believe, I mean, look at this election. Like we still have them fighting. They're still fighting um to hang on to what they believe to be truth about him and what he's going to do, even though a lot of the rest of us see the fact that this man is literally trying to tear down democracy and is has made America the laughing stock of the world. So, these are things that we can't deny. However, The point of the matter is that there are people and followers of Donald Trump who are worshiping him as like a god. And I want you to remember that. Also, this is the part that really just almost really convinced me. And then I kept reading, but this was it. Revelation 3, where I just said, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Now, there are those we know about these three whatever assassination attempts upon Donald Trump. But I want to focus on the one where, he was nipped in the ear or whatever. Now, whether we believe he was shot or not, or whatever, there are those people. I'm not going to get into that. But at the end of the day, we look if we looking through the eyes of MAGA and these cult people and these ones who are absolutely following him, they believe this assassination attempt. They believe they were trying to kill him. They believe that he is somewhat of a martyr, like they really do. And so when it talked about him being shot um, in the head, or and saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. Now, literally, if all things were true as it were, and I'm not saying it is or not, the type of bullet that hit him could have killed him. You know what I'm saying? And so it talks about the head. Okay, well, we know the ear, we don't necessarily call the ear the head, but it is a part of the head. It is absolutely a part of the head. And we also saw, whether we believe it or not, we saw it healed. We saw it healed really quickly. you know, I mean, what did he stop wearing that big bandage on his ear within 2 weeks or something? Like, it was a really, really fast process. And like I say though, there were many who believed, I mean, his followers were wearing the big gauze on their ear. You know what I'm saying? So we may not necessarily be talking about the whole world and all these things, but we're talking about a subset of people who believe in this man, you know. And so that was a huge part of reading this that really got me like, man, yeah, the whole world, I won't say the world, but the world can see him get shot because you can go back and look at the recording somewhere, YouTube or whatever. So technically, the world did see him get shot. Um, and like I said, this whole head thing, yeah, your ear is connected to the head. You know what I'm saying? So you guys believe it how you want to. It was convincing enough for me. I'm going to continue. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Now, these are two big leaders. These are two big leaders that we're talking about. And his deadly wound, I'm sorry, hold on. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. I'm going to stop right there. We know Trump mouth. We know Trump, you know, there's some of us who look at Trump as he lying, he just talking shit. He just, don't trust him without, but we know how Trump speaks. He does speak blasphemies. He does speak great words. He does speak um he talks a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing I mean, the way he talks about himself and what he's going to do, we know it as being narcissistic, making all these promises and just like everything about him. Oh, his health. Oh, he's healthier than he's ever been. And, you know, um, when he becomes president, he's going to make America great again, Um, Even his crowds and crowds are they're the biggest that that anyone has ever seen. And this is just going to be so great. It's going to be the biggest and the greatest that anyone has ever seen. But we know how he talks. You know what I'm saying? And so even this makes me think about Trump. you know um and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And he has humiliated people. He does humiliate people. This man says pretty much whatever he wants. He's called for people to get unalived. He's called for American citizens to get shot down for protesting and so forth. He's called for other politicians and things, even for the military to come against these people. He's talked about enemies within and all this kind of stuff. So we see and hear the blasphemies and things that he said, that first of all, no other politician or sitting president has ever said those type of things. And if they did, we didn't hear it. It wasn't for on on TV or whatever, on video, that everyone could hear this stuff if it ever happened. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely see that. Now it says that, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. I looked up 40 and 2 months. That's 3.5 years. Literally, that's like 3.5 years. Um, we know a presidency is 4, but just saying, it says power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. That's 3.5 years. Now, what's going to happen and all that, I don't know. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Literally speaking against God, speaking against powers that be and things like that. He's not afraid to do that. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name, listen, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose name were not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So at the end of the day, whether we believe this particular part or not, what it's literally saying is that this is a section of people. This is a section of people who's worshiping this man like this. So, and we see that too. We see the country is divided. Like, everybody ain't insane and going that way, but there is definitely a section of people. Um, if any man hath an ear, let him hear. There was he doeth great wonders, so that like so yeah, I'm gonna stop right there. There's more, and there's actually, like I said, there's another scripture that talked about um like the person or whatever that's going to come after him. But let's stick with this right now. We'll talk about that at a later time, or if I feel led to do a video on that. But um, I see. I'm not trying to convince nobody else, but this is how I see this. As this is Trump's presidency. This is the prophecy that is right here, even in the Bible. I'm not telling you to believe the Bible, but it's just very, very coincidental to me that these things are here, um, in this like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's another thing that it's not necessarily in the Bible, but it's what Spirit gave me also going along with this. Like, why does he have to be here? Like, why is this still going forth? Is he going to get like arrested beforehand and not be able to put these, things into put these things on us? Why? We know he's a criminal. We know he has all these different essay allegations and things like that. He's already a convicted felon. Why is this happening? How is this happening? You know what I'm saying? Now, what came to me is that Those that need the convincing are the radicals. Those that need the to see this play out and see this for what it is. Many of us already know, but those he has to go ahead and step up and get in this seat and do what he is going to do, you know, because of these radicals, because of these obsessive right wingers, because of MAGA. You know what I'm saying? We see the power that this man wields um, on January 6th. We see that how he can just make mention of Proud Boys and these other radical groups and things like this, and they're ready to go to war. We already see this. You know what I'm saying? We see now that even though this man has won, these people are still angry. We see this. They're still angry. They still trying to make war. They're still mad. They're still trying to do um they're not satisfied yet. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're more hyped up to do more. You know what I'm saying? And if they were to not let him go ahead and reign, I think this is a thing where this man is going to have to go ahead and do this presidency. If not, MAGA is not going to be convinced. The radicals and these alt right and all these people are not going. They're going to say it's unfair. They're going to do another January 6th. They're going to. Um, they have to see this thing through. They have to. They're going to have to see this man literally get up here and almost f up America and our democracy in order for it to get through to them. They are obsessed. And some things are going to have to play out for them. Many of them, although we see a lot of the regret, although we see some of the consequences and things coming, there's still so many of them who are doubling down. There's still so many of them who um, they still don't get it yet. Like they need to go ahead and put him in place and let him F up whatever he gonna mess up, because that's what I think. I don't think our government is fully going to allow him to just tear up democracy, and I think it's great because they are warned. There's many of us who took him serious when we heard him saying these things out of his mouth that he said he was going to do. There are many that still went ahead and voted for him who didn't believe that. Like they like, yeah, well, he was talking about this, or well, he's only talking about the bad people. And there are some of us who actually believed the words and things that he said. There's many of us who believe that. There's still those who still need convincing. They're not convinced yet. And for those who are not convinced yet, this is going to have to go ahead and play out. Now, I'm going to say, I think overall we are going to be okay. I really do. I feel a comfort that, although things may be hard and rough, and especially financially, economically, and all that thing for stuff for our country, some people are going to suffer, but it's something that I think we're all going to have to go through. Let me say this also. I don't think all of us are going to get the same type of I don't want to call it punishment, but I don't think all of us are going to get the same type of results. I think those who put their faith and their heart and mind and money and all of this stuff behind this man, trusting this man who's a known liar, a man who has on so many different occasions proven that he only cares about himself, the man who we have seen leave more than once his followers at rallies to walk in the rain and in the dark and things, and not schedule the buses and stuff to come back and pick them up. Old people getting sick in the cold, and they're still after this man. still following him, still going to the meetings and everything. We saw that. We saw him abandon these people on more than once, more than once. But as I said, there is a group that he has of extreme followers who are worshiping him as a god. And they got to be convinced. They got to be convinced so that as they see this stuff play out. Now, I don't know if it's going to take 3.5 years. So I'm at the 42 months that I read about. I don't know how long it's going to take for a lot of them to finally come to their senses and be like, we done. Like I said, some of them already have. Some of them, I'm going to be honest, may not ever. Some of them may not ever. I hope it's a small percent, but some of them may not ever. Some of them may go ahead on and follow him all the way to, you know, wherever they're going to go. But I think a large part of his following who have not who are radicalized like that may be able to wake up and actually see things for what they are. But we got to let this thing play out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of people asking, well, why don't they just arrest him? Why don't they just deport Elon Musk? Because like I said, he's a part of this too. Because actually, like I said, there's another scripture that talked about the two of them being thrown into like literally the pit of hell or whatever, you know what I'm saying, thrown into the lake of fire. And like I said, I don't know which three of them. I don't know how much Vladimir Putin is really involved in this since he really is actually president of a whole other country, but he still is so involved in this American politics. You know what I'm saying? And I do think the three of them are who they're talking about. So which one is going to fall with him like that? I kind of personally believe it's going to be Elon Musk. I really do. I think it's going to be the two of them that we're going to see um get what they deserve, together. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I think I'll stop right here. I've talked long enough. You can let me know what you think. Do you put any validity or whatever behind it? Have you thought about any of this? I'm pretty convinced that it actually is what the Bible is talking about. Um, especially with that head wound thing. Like that's what I'm saying. That is what convinced me because I'm like, we saw this, and whether we believe it or not, there's those who actually believe that he really did get shot, and that is the head area. That is absolutely the head area. So, I'm gonna stop right there. This is um this is what spirit brought to me. I'd like for you guys to let me know what you think. Please hit the subscribe button, you guys. I really um am trying to grow. More videos will be coming out. I just had to reset. Like I really did. And I don't like to come out with stuff unless I have a sure way of articulating it, because there's a lot of things that, I think about and everything, and I'm not always led to do a video. And that's just kind of the way it is. I'm not one who just make video, video, video. A lot of times I make videos, it's because I'm really truly led to make that video. So that's why you guys don't always hear a lot from me all the time, but please subscribe. I thank you so much for those who have subscribed. Leave me a comment, a respectful comment, please, on your opinion. Am I loony? Am I off my rocker? Do you see where it could be? Like, whatever it is, please be respectful. I'm asking. Please hit all notifications so that you guys will know when I upload new videos. You guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until the next video, see you next time.